Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And before we get started with this week's news, I want to let you guys know about a special upload we're doing on Wednesday. So we recently conducted an interview with Paul Elliott. He's a music journalist who wrote the book The Life and Times of a Rock and Roll Band, Guns N' Roses, and he spent a lot of time with Guns N' Roses back in 1987 before Appetite for Destruction came out, and then he also attended the marquee shows, as well as spent some time with Guns N' Roses when they came back to England after Appetite came out. He also interviewed Izzy Stradlin when he was touring with Juju Hounds, and he was a really fascinating guy to talk to. So we've got an interview with him coming up on Wednesday. We shot it a couple weeks ago, so be sure to tune in for that. So without further ado, guys, let's get started with this week's news. So we had some scary news for Slash. So he's dealt with stalkers before in the past, as has Axl, and it looks like Slash was dealing with another one. So a couple weeks ago, Slash had a Super Bowl party at his house that he shares with Megan, who's his girlfriend, and basically, this man showed up claiming to be Slash's friend, and he tried to convince Megan to let him into Slash's house. And when the man couldn't get in, basically he rang the doorbell several times and got so angry he violently bashed the security camera at Slash's house. So a couple weeks later, after the Super Bowl party, the guy showed up again to an invitation-only party that Slash attended. And he basically said, "Hey, I'm Slash's friend, let me in." And the guy was turned away once again, and he sat on his motorcycle in the parking lot revving his engine. So according to TMZ, Slash won a temporary restraining order against the man. And scary news. Hopefully Slash doesn't have to deal with this guy again. So let's go on to our next piece of news. So this week, it looks like the tour openers for Guns N' Roses' upcoming Europe tour have been announced for pretty much all their shows. So they're going to be having some of the same bands who have supported them in the past, but they're also having some new bands too, and some of which are going to be awesome. So I know a band that a lot of people seem to enjoy is Greta Van Fleet. A lot of people are calling them like the new Led Zeppelin. They're going to be opening some of the shows for Guns N' Roses. They're also going to be having a Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, who opened a number of dates for Guns N' Roses across Europe as well as North America. They're also going to be having Duff, McKagan's daughter's band, the Pink Slips, open up. Rival Sons, who has this, I guess they have like sort of a classic rock sound similar to Led Zeppelin, is going to be opening up some of the shows for Guns N' Roses. Volbeat's going to be opening up some of the shows. There's also going to be the Ghost is going to be opening up some of the shows. The Dead Daisies, interestingly enough, are going to be opening up the show in Estonia. So I wonder if Richard Fortus and Dizzy Reed are going to join the band on stage. And there's a couple of other bands I'm not really familiar with called Graveyard. Other Noises are going to be opening up the show in Moscow. So if you guys want to see the full list of tour openers, I've linked to it down below. Guns N' Roses are also going to be playing a Belgium festival called Grasspop, which has a pretty amazing lineup. So they announced the lineup, and some of the headliners include Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden. If you guys remember, Iron Maiden and Guns N' Roses toured back in the 80s. Volbeat's going to be headlining Ozzy Osbourne, Avenged Sevenfold, Judas Priest, A Perfect Circle, Marilyn Manson, and the list goes on and on. They've also, other notable artists include Rise Against, Megadeth, Killswitch Engage, and Skillet. So I think if you're a metal fan, this is definitely going to be a great festival to go attend. If any of you guys are in Belgium or are planning on going to Belgium, let me know in the comment section below. Also on the bill is Sons of Apollo, which is a super group that Bumblefoot plays in. So I kind of wonder if he's going to go see Guns N' Roses. He's talked in the past about not having seen any of the reunion shows, or I wonder if him and Axl are going to cross paths. It seems pretty clear that Bumblefoot left on a pretty bad note with the band, so I kind of wonder what's going to happen with that. So we've got some Duff and McKagan news as well. So Duff is still in LA, and he's been friends with the band AWOLNATION for a little while now. He even made a guest appearance in their new song off their latest album, 7 Sticks of Dynamite, and he joined the band on stage once again. So AWOLNATION played Los Angeles this week on March 15 at the Wiltern Theater, and the band welcomed a couple guests, including Weezer frontman Rivers Cuomo, as well as, of course, Duff McKagan. So Rivers Cuomo came on, and they did a cover of the Pixies' classic song, Where Is My Mind? And then Duff McKagan hopped on stage, and he joined AWOLNATION for their song Sail, which was from their 2011 album. So if you guys want to see footage of Duff on stage with them, click the link below. I don't know how you guys feel about AWOLNATION. I saw them at a music festival, and it was really weird. Like, none of their equipment showed up, and they basically just did like a DJ set for like an hour. And I'm not personally not a fan of their music, but if you guys are, go check out the link below. We also had an interesting news story where David Arquette, who's the actor who used to be married to Courtney Cox from Friends, was recently interviewed by Entertainment Weekly about his cameo on Beverly Hills 90210 back in the 90s. So I guess he played a character that basically said that Axl Rose was a sellout. So he jokingly apologized to Axl and said, he's not the sellout. And he said, sorry to Axl, please, peace be with you, and also with you, he said with a laugh. So the Scream actor appeared in a 1992 episode of 90210 as Dennis Diesel Stone, the lead singer of a band called Waste Management. So we had some really sad news to report this week. So former Izzy Stradlin and the Juju Hounds drummer Charlie Quintana had passed away this week at the age of 56. So it was announced by his family on Facebook. Now, he passed away in Mexico. It wasn't clear the circumstances surrounding his death, but he had played with a number of great bands over the years. He played in the punk rock group The Plugs. He played in, of course, Izzy Stradlin's band, the Juju Hounds. He played with Agent Orange, Cracker, Bob Dylan, Joan Osborne. He also played with Social Distortion. I guess in the last years of his life, he moved to Mexico and worked with Stray Dogs, and he seemed to love his new life, but it became apparent that he had some health issues, and I guess he had trouble getting back to the States to get medical treatment. So sadly, he passed away at the age of 56. Matt Sorum took to Twitter and posted his condolences to Charlie Quintana, and Izzy Stradlin posted 3 separate tweets giving his thoughts and prayers to Charlie as well. He said condolences to Charlie Quintana's family, friends, and fans. Izzy also said Charlie Quintana was a great drummer and bandmate in the 92 era Juju Hounds, and then Izzy finally finished it off by saying Charlie Quintana had an extremely well-developed sense of humor and his contributions to music as a percussionist are vast. So it's really terrible news to hear this week. There is a GoFundMe page that's been started. Now, Charlie Quintana's nickname was Chalo, so there's a GoFundMe page that's been created to basically have him buried in the United States. And at this point in time, no cause of death has been released. So his GoFundMe page to date has raised a lot of money. In fact, it's raised $8,000, and their original goal was $7,500. So I'll put the link to it down below if you guys want to go donate to his page. So we've got some Matt Sorum news this week. So Matt Sorum gave a new interview this past week about his new project he's been working on called Artbit. So Matt Sorum talked about how Artbit is going to help starving artists get paid. So he talked a bit in the interview about how streaming services like Spotify and Tidal, they don't really give the artists a lot of money. And he's basically come up with a solution that's going to actually help artists who are struggling. So basically, Artbit is a revolutionary distributed ledger platform that allows both artists and fans to share and monetize talent anywhere across the globe. So I guess it uses cryptocurrency, and the way it works is people can tune into live shows or performances through the platform, and they can basically they can share, they can even give micro income to artists that they're watching through the platform. So I'm not really sure exactly when it's going to come out and whether it'll actually perform well or not. But if you guys want to see the interview with Matt Sorum, I've linked to it down below. So we've also got some other Matt Sorum news. So it looks like Matt Sorum is going to be one of many drummers interviewed for a new book coming out called Beyond the Beats, Rock and Roll's Greatest Drummers Speak. So it's going to feature exclusive interviews with Sorum himself, as well as the other biggest drummers in rock and roll and metal, including Lars Ulrich, Joey Kramer of Aerosmith, Tommy Lee Motley Crue, Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters, Chad Smith. The list goes on. And the book's really going to highlight some of the beginnings for some of these drummers, talking about who put the first sticks in their hands and sat them down behind the kits, all the way to banging away drums behind some of the biggest bands, playing the biggest arenas and stadiums full of screaming fans. So it says along the way, the inspiration behind the most famous beats is broken down from Ulrich walking fans through the epic breakdown of One to what gave Joey Kramer the idea for Walk This Way's instantly addictive percussion introduction. And even they interviewed Journey's drummer on the creation of the drum beat for Don't Stop Believin'. And, they interview a number of other people as well. Hardcover and paperback have a publication date of actually last week on March 13th, and also be available on April 25th as an ebook from Baker and Taylor. So they'll also have an audiobook released by Blackstone Audio on May 15th, containing loads of bonus content, including exclusive audio excerpts from each of the drummers interviewed for the book, and Yamaha will be publishing the book in Japan later this year as well. So we also had some pieces of Steven Adler news. So Steven Adler took to social media and posted a picture of him with Ghostface Killah from the group Wu-Tang Clan. And then he also had an announcement concerning who the supporting acts for his May 10th show at the Whiskey A Go Go are going to be. So we previously knew that it was going to be Slash's Sons band Classless Act opening for Adler's Appetite, but then there's been 2 more bands added to the bill, including the Light Fighters and the Stolen Runes. We've also got some exciting news about your guys' favorite guitarist, DJ Ashba. So the legendary guitarist recorded his cover of Since I Don't Have You. Now, it's just a little snippet he put up on YouTube. He's been posting a lot of covers on YouTube, so you can go check it out. And while he's doing the cover, his wife is taking a selfie in the background. It looks totally professional, so you guys can go check it out. The link is down below. That does it for this week's news, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Put your comments in the section below. Be sure to hit the like button and go visit gnrcentral.com for the latest Guns N' Roses news. You guys can also go follow us on Facebook and Twitter and support our page on Patreon too. Take care and have yourself a good week.